If I just rotate her very slowly sideways, you can see that she is totally angled. Is it okay for boys to buy dolls? Now, as you can imagine, I obviously don't prescribe to the idea that you have to be a certain gender or a certain age to buy these toys. I have been buying these things since getting to Japan, all sorts of various toys and figures. If you're not already familiar with this character, it's Hatsune Miku. She is a synthesizer, but they gave her a face because it makes her easier to sell. But she also has a selection of games, and the one that this comes from, Project Diva F2nd, is the second of 2 Vita games. Actually, there's 3 Vita games, as you can see. The light's kind of reflecting on it, so it's a little difficult to see, but just if you have a look at the actual back of the box, this is what she will look like on the inside of the box. She's got this awesome orange dress, and in fact, if you look closely, you can see that this is actually not hair. She's got hair on, she's got a side ponytail, but she's actually got these ruffles on the side instead of hair. Now, something I'm particularly keen to see with this figure is whether I can find the perfect angle to take a picture of it. Looking at her face on, you'd think that would be the best angle, but the fact is that because she's twisting, it's actually quite difficult to get the perfect camera angle, so I won't know until I unbox it. The other thing is that this was a brand new figure last year, but I only bought it around February of this year, and I actually had a goal in mind. I said, I'm not going to unbox it until I've reached my goal, and in fact, I didn't achieve my goal, but now that I've had it for like 6 months, it's like, it's time to open the box. Alright, so this is the front of the box. It says Hatsune Miku Orange Blossom version. That's the name of the costume. It actually goes in with a song called Decorator, which is by Live Tune featuring KZ. You can see a close-up of the face, the actual figure itself, and this is what it looks like from behind. And this is why I find it really interesting. I don't think that even if you take it from this angle, I think there might be a better angle at which you can take a picture of this figure. Now, just here on the top of the box, you can see there's a little window here, and I think that's one so that you can see the contents of the packaging, but also so that light comes in from above. I think it looks nicer on the shelf when light can actually come into the box and light the figure from above. Now, just for reference, this is a limited edition figure that I got from Wonder Festival, which is a dolls and figures festival here in Japan, and this is one that I opened, I think it was 1.5 years ago. This is the Hatsune Miku Tell Your World figure. This one also runs around the same price. This was about $130, I think, maybe $140, $150, depends. It's really detailed. I love the outfit on here as well. She's got a really nice detailed body, face shape. The hair is flowing around in a really epic sort of way. So since I was so happy with this figure, I thought I would go ahead and spend some money on this one, and although it was supposed to be a gift to myself as a result of completing my task in February, unfortunately didn't manage, and so I've given myself 6 months of, I don't know, it's sort of like self-torture, not allowing myself to open it, even though I had already bought it. I'm going to cut this part open here, this tape. Now, I won't be throwing anything in this unboxing, so one, don't worry, and if you were expecting throwings, sorry, this is one of those unboxings where I just cannot bring myself to throw anything. Unfortunately, I didn't realize there's also plastic tabs here, cut away from myself because we're safe. Alright, so open up the top of the box like so, and we should be able to pull the figure out nice and carefully. Now I'm going to do it sideways so I don't drop her out. Alright, okay, so that is the box. We don't need that anymore. Looks like to get her out of plastic prison, you've got to cut a little bit of sellotape here and there and there. There's also a bit of plastic here on this side as well. Come on, Miku, be free! Oh, you know what? I've just discovered that opening it like that was probably a bad idea. Alright, slight change of strategy because I don't want her to fall out because she's not actually attached to the base yet. I'm actually going to pull her out from above. Ooh, that was dangerous. Get rid of this plastic. I did say there'd be no throwing, but I changed my mind. Let's pull Miku out nice and carefully. Take the plastic off, we don't need that. Hatsune Miku Orange Blossom version. Before I put her on the stand, she looks unbelievably amazing. I love the proportions as well. They've given her nice, healthy looking thighs, so she's clearly not doing any unhealthy dieting. I love the design. I love the fact that she's got a side ponytail, but she looks like she's got twin tails because of this design here. I also like the mixture of these mechanical looking parts on the back. It gives it that sort of tech Gundam sort of look, even though she's wearing basically an idol style dress. Have a nice look up close. Plenty of detail there on the face. Love the detail that they've put into the musculature of her arms. It's really nice when you can see the muscles on a figure because it makes them look that extra bit human. Because even in anime you know, illustration style. It's easy to skip out on the muscles. It makes them look that bit more realistic. I like it. She's got a ridiculous waist. Check that out. She is super skinny. Plenty of orange, plenty of blue. Love the color scheme. Little ruffles there at the bottom. I don't know what they're called. What's a panier and a petticoat? I'm never really sure what the difference is. If you know the difference between a panier and a petticoat, can you just let me know in the comments so that I can finally learn once and for all what the difference is. Now, before I go into any more detail, I'm actually going to stick her on the base, which looks like this. Not sure if you can see, but she's got a little hole there in her shoe and another hole there at the bottom of her shoe. Those two holes are what's gonna hold her in place on this stand. Slide her on there. All right, and she's done. Just set her down here on the table and all right. Wow, you've got to see this from an angle because she is actually leaning back. If I just rotate her very slowly sideways, you can see that she is totally angled backwards a bit. This is a totally in motion. Now, if you do any illustration work, you know that if you have your character off balance, it gives them that look that they're in the middle of motion. If they had actually balanced her perfect upright like this, it would take away from the dynamism of the pose. In fact, even a figure like this, which is slightly off balance, it kind of has a lot of dynamism because it is slightly off balance. Clearly, she's not falling over yet, but she has some slight forward momentum in this figure, which is really important because this is such a great dance, such a great piece of music, essentially. I love this costume and I love this song. You really want to keep that momentum in there. Check out the detail, even on the back, she's got this awesome little orange choker ribbon. In fact, check this out, look at the little blue streaks on the hair at the back there. It's got a real translucent feel to it. In fact, if you check out the blue here and also the blue here at the bottom of the hair, it's got this really beautiful translucent look. It's not straight up watercolor, but translucence really does add to the gentleness of this character. She's got some awesome detail on the front of this idol style dress, but right here at the back you get all the stuff that the guys can get into. Well, not that guys and girls get into different stuff, but stuff that I really like is these metal parts. I love the parts that turn her into a Gundam, basically. I love stuff like that. And that's what's really great about this figure, I think. It's a really good balance of gentle translucence, but also here with the metallicness. And even here on the top, she's got another one up here. It's really well themed and consistent. It's like clearly they thought orange and blue, and only certain kinds of orange and only certain types of blue. And because they restricted themselves very, very carefully, it's a very, how do I say, thematically cohesive product, this. You can see that just even the blue that was chosen for her eyes and the blue that was chosen for her hair was very, very carefully selected. For those of you who prefer the more traditional Hatsune Miku teal, she's got a bit of teal here on her shoes. Alright, what I'm doing now is I'm actually trying to get the perfect shot for the thumbnail for this video, and it's actually quite difficult because even though this is a great angle, it doesn't really show you the momentum, the fact that she is really falling off to the side here. What do you think of that? I reckon that's a pretty good angle. For a thumbnail, this is just right, I think. Now, you don't want her facing too far away to the side. I think facing towards the box is probably good, so I think something like that is probably just right. This might be a little bit too close up. Let's see if iPhone can take a picture from this close up. Man, this is gonna be a lot of fun to take pictures of this. Briefly go through the photos that I've just taken. This one was really, really close up. This one I was trying to mess around with the background. This one I got a little closer up, but you can see there's a bit too much shadow here on the sides. Getting a little bit closer up now. This is the sort of picture that I would happily use for, I don't know, Instagram, that sort of thing. Yeah, and I think this is about as low angle as I went, so this is a really great figure for taking pictures. And in fact, I think this is quite a great little figure even if you don't take pictures, even if you just want to have a nice figure which just stands on the side. To be honest, I won't be taking pictures all of the time, but if you just want to have a nice figure just to stand on your shelf, wow, you can see she's actually quite a bit taller. Comparing them now, it looks like, yeah, this one, the Tell Your World figure is actually a bit smaller. It was probably a bit cheaper as well. This figure, if you're interested cost-wise, this cost me 16,000 yen or 16,500 yen, which is something like $160, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on the exchange rate. With all the ribbons, with all the frills, this is just, it's like frills to the max. This is max frill. And just one last thing before I go, I just want to draw a lot of attention to how much detail they've put into the gradation on the hair, because as you can see, especially on this side tail here, you can see there's a real attention to detail between the deep blues. You can see that it's like darker near the roots and a bit lighter in the main areas, and then again, quite translucent as you go away from their hair. And what's interesting is because the hair is made of plastic, they can't make it thin and wispy, but in anime, they often use a lot of translucent color to show that the hair is getting thinner. Epic idol style outfit with ribbons to the max. Just couldn't figure out what to say. Tons and tons of ribbons. So there you have it. That is Hatsune Miku, Orange Blossom version. She's about $160, maybe more, maybe less, depending on where you buy her. I really like this figure. I'm absolutely ecstatic that I finally opened it. And it's taken me like 6 months, so for me, there was a lot of tantra built up for this figure. I'm really, really happy about it. It looks every bit as awesome that I was hoping. I still haven't found exactly the right way to take a picture of it because I want ideally to show this angle. I want to be able to show this angle, but she's looking the wrong direction, so when she's like this, you actually lose a bit of the dynamism because you don't see the fact that she's actually tilting over to the side. I'd like to be able to show that in photos, but it's a little more difficult. Maybe I'll just have to take pictures and make collage photos of them. Anyway, do subscribe for more if you'd like to see more figures and unboxings, and if you do want to see more, do let me know in the comments what you'd like to see unboxings of. Obviously, I'm limited with the amount of money I can spend on these figures. I mean, this is expensive. This is like $160, but I do really love doing this, and I love having basically Miku figures just because I'm a Miku fanatic. So yeah, do subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next NihongoGamer video.